Many of you, even pastors and seminarians, may have heard the claim that the Queen of Sheba originated from Ethiopia. Now, we already showed you there are two Shebas in Genesis 10, and to ignore Ophir's brother Sheba from Shem, not Ham, in which the story falls right in the middle of the journey to and from Ophir, who's from Shem, is not just an oversight, but an outright negligent practice, and certainly not scholarship. It is ridiculous that some, even rabbis, will completely ignore the Sheba brother of Ophir in the very narrative of Ophir. Doesn't make sense. Now, placing Ophir and Sheba from Joktan in Saudi Arabia, Yemen, nor Ethiopia is biblically illiterate, as we've shown, as Joktan's sons lived in Mesha, Mashhad, Iran. Josephus agrees, and migrated to the Far East from there, which we prove out fully. And there's no room for either of those territories to make a claim, nor do they have the resources, nor do they fit Solomon's journey, nor the descriptions such as bringing a foreign wood Israel had never seen before. Yet, they already traded with the Sabaeans and Ethiopians, both recorded from the days of Job, long before Solomon. Again, as by name, Ethiopia, Cush, and Saba, the Sabaeans. So these are named countries, and they're identified in Scripture many times over, never once as Sheba. Sorry, doesn't work. Now, there is a Sheba there, but it's the wrong Sheba. It's not actually a mystery here in the slightest, and Moses knew where they were. And again, if you have not watched the rest of the series, watch before attempting to debate, because we obliterate these claims as options already. Now, it's time to learn the origin of this claim from Ethiopia. And when you learn this, well, warning, you cannot unknow it. Nor can you ever hold a position for Ethiopia and Yemen again based on this occult. Yes, that is the root, occult nonsense. Here we go again. Welcome to 100 Clues. The Philippines is the ancient land of gold known as Ophir in the Bible and history. No, it's no fable, and this has already been proven in full in the God Culture's Solomon's Gold series. At the request of many viewers, we have pulled out 100 compelling clues, really proofs or evidences, from this research in which we will highlight briefs of the most compelling points, and yes, there are over 100. These videos are for those who have not had time to watch Solomon's Gold series. Also great for small groups and even schools, and easy to share to friends and families, especially skeptics. This brief video cannot replace that 50-video series, nor prove the way that it does, but this will be very compelling nonetheless. So go there for full evidence. But now, part 40 of our series, 100 Clues. The Philippines is Ophir, one clue at a time. Let's begin right at the root of this claim. Seminaries pick up the story of the Queen of Sheba originating in Ethiopia, or Yemen, or both really, because it is both is the claim, from the Talmud. Now, it was written around 800 AD, which is impertinent to a history from 1000 BC, over 1800 years prior, as it knows nothing of the narrative directly, nor did any rabbi, and the source of the claim is absolutely ludicrous, you'll see. But they go on and they teach it anyway. The Talmud gets its story from here, the Ethiopian Kibra Nagast. And brace yourself, because this is one of the most disgusting occult stories on record. According to the Kibra Nagast, King Solomon had heard of Sheba and had been told of her strange features. Oh, what are they? Why, the hairy legs and feet that are cloven like a goat. What? Ooh. Let's be clear. This is not our claim. We didn't make this story up. This is the actual written, recorded claim of the Kibra Nagast from Ethiopia, the origin of this whole narrative. And this is the one being propagated in complete error. Now, we are not disrespecting their queen. They do, as they are the ones exalting a Nephilim. And we reject that as nonsense, and it never has any application in interpreting the Bible whatsoever. King Solomon did have 700 wives and 300 concubines in time. So yeah, he loved women, there's no doubt. But the goat lady? No way. Come on. We say no to the goat lady. We even reject that Ethiopia ever had a queen who was part goat. But again, that's the Kibra Nagast, not us, who makes such a ridiculous, disrespectful claim. Not just disrespecting that queen there, but disrespecting Solomon for claiming that then, get this, Solomon tricks her into sleeping with him. Yeah, gotta have some goat. No, ridiculous. Does the Bible say Solomon even had an affair with the Queen of Sheba? Nope, never. It does not allude to any such happening at all. She came, asked her hard questions, gave to the temple project, and she left. Period. The end. Now, those continuing to propagate that Menelik is the progeny of Solomon based on this goat lady are telling us all that Solomon had little Nephilim children. They're telling us that Menelik is a Nephilim. Now again, we don't believe that. We reject that, and so should every Ethiopian, because that is utterly false and unbiblical. Little goat kids, literally. Nice. On the journey home, this queen then gives birth to Menelik. Now, the queen did not have 9 months of questions. That's ridiculous. And it is not on record that she stayed that long, but giving and then leaving. But hey, if she was part goat, maybe her gestation period was shorter. Who knows, right? Wrong, she was not, and the whole thing is just occult mixing. This is anti-biblical. No way you can ever do this. And we're talking about bloodlines of Nephilim trying to be mixed into the Bible yet again. They do that all the time, especially in Africa, in Egypt especially. Disgusting. You can never make it work, and it doesn't work here either. Pretty sick. And guess which country is truly behind this lie? Well, it's not completely Ethiopia. No, the ones propagating it in modern times are the British. Yeah, there they are again. Imagine that, trying to mix and confuse in this narrative. The same one who attempted to conceal the location of Ophir, which was very well known all the way up until 1891 or so. So, they have failed, though. They will not conceal this matter. It is now known by too many and being restored in these days. They will use any trick they can to deceive because their leader does not want this nation of Sheba, Philippines, to be restored. Oh no, why? Well, Britain is the very seat of Gog of Magog. See, he's not. His power is not Russia. That is a false narrative. They're just not reading the story. His power, his seat, is Tubal and Meshech, which is Western and Central Europe, according to the Book of Jubilees. This prince demon's power originates in Britain, and the colonial powers, and the Vatican, and Italy, Germany, that whole entire area today we call the EU. Now, it will be Sheba, the brother of Ophir, the real Sheba, Philippines, who will stand against Gog in prophecy according to Ezekiel 38. Wow. This is so blatantly obvious. Gog, the demon, does not want you to rise, Philippines, but he cannot stop you. However, let's be fair here. They conducted archaeology on this to support in recent years, so let's take a look and see if they actually found something, and maybe it has merit here. No, not actually, but let's look anyway. February 2012, British archaeologist, and one must wonder if any relation to the creator of the Schofield Reference Bible, perhaps? The guy who tried to change the Bible. Just look at these claims. In the British Guardian newspaper, archaeologists strike gold in quest to find Queen of Sheba's wealth. Well, except they're in the wrong country and continent. But small detail. Let's not pay attention to such small details, right? Well, we will. They may not, because they wish to deceive. They're looking for Sheba, descendant of Shem, in Ham's continent. Pretty much complete ignorance. So this is 2012, and we encourage you to take in the whole article. We'll leave a link. Prior to this so-called find, Ethiopia has nothing whatsoever to assert this claim of the Queen of Sheba, except it has a Sheba from Ham, which is already the wrong Sheba, so actually very clearly already wrong. And after it, they still have nothing, because they literally found absolutely nothing to tie even to her era, her story, to the Queen of Sheba in any sense. Now here's our recap, looking for evidence. They found a temple next to this cave that they say is a gold mine. No, they didn't actually enter the cave because the entrance was blocked. And also there's a shaft which is also blocked. So it may have been a gold mine, perhaps. No big deal that they didn't enter. We won't hold that against them. There is gold panning in a nearby river, so perhaps there's gold in that cave. Maybe, but again, they aren't requiring such, proof. They don't have any in this entire article. A whole article, and they don't cite one actual evidence that proves anything in the narrative of the Queen of Sheba. Nothing even ties here. It actually proves the opposite. Why would Britain bother to do that, of course? However, from when, what era, is this archaeology in this article? And let's see, how much gold did they find? Well, none actually. There's gold that they're panning in the river nearby, but they never entered the gold mine to even see if it is a gold mine. They didn't see any traces, elements of gold anywhere around it, so they're just making a massive leap in assumption, not even bothering to even enter, saying, yeah, that's an ancient gold mine. Yeah, okay, fine. It's okay if it's an ancient gold mine, but that doesn't prove that it was the Queen of Sheba's. Does one mine, in fact, represent the kind of operation that could produce the level of gold that Solomon's reign produced, over $12 billion of gold just from Ophir and Sheba itself? Not even remotely. But here's the worst part. There is a temple next to the gold mine, which, in all fairness, they wrap into the whole thing here, as they probably should. And that temple dates the community to, when did the Queen of Sheba live? Around 1000 BC, right? Is that it? No, they failed yet again. The temple dates 800 AD, with remnants of society originating perhaps, and they're stretching it because we'll show you the actual archaeology, none of it goes back that far. Perhaps to the days of Messiah, or so. But that's only 800 years or more too late to even be considered. And nor have the Queen of Sheba injected into this narrative. I mean, how do you even mention her name in association with this find when it's nowhere near her era and none of the things that she's known for? Because again, they didn't find gold. They didn't find any of the things. So, this article makes this leap to get your attention, to get you to read it, but it doesn't support it whatsoever. It is a very poorly educated article. It says nothing. It proves nothing. And Schofield, absolutely utter nonsensical position for her to take. This isn't just a little off. It's almost 1,000 years off. But they know it's the Queen of Sheba. Well, how? Oh, because they found a symbol, a crescent moon and sun or star symbol on the temple. Now that is far too late, first of all, to even be considered, because we already told you the temple dates to about 800 AD. Even if you date it earlier, doesn't matter, doesn't get anywhere near. Because the Bible says, let's see, that the Queen of Sheba worshiped the moon god? No, where does it say that? Nowhere. How utterly ignorant to make such an occult, stupid assumption. They are making up their own occult story here. That's what they're doing. To even make a claim based on the wrong era is already reckless. No resources of note at all? Completely ignorant. The wrong symbol, which the queen in the Bible already knew the name of Solomon's God. Likely because she worshipped the same God, because she too was from Eber, indeed a Hebrew. She did not worship the moon god that is nowhere to be found in any of all of Scripture. Now, you want to take this into the Talmud, written at the same time that this temple was built? It's impertinent. You want to take it into the Quran? Same thing. Impertinent. Quran propagates a new narrative that has no basis whatsoever in the Bible. Nor can it, because Muhammad was a bloody warlord. No prophet went around murdering people and telling them that they will convert or die. You've got to be kidding me. To compare him and elevate him to the level of a prophet and then lower Messiah down to the level of the same, elevating Muhammad to the level of the Son of God. Disgusting, despicable, not history, not a religion even. It really, really has no basis in this narrative and nothing to say on the matter of anything that makes any sense. You read it, it says nothing. See, they are injecting their occult nonsense into the narrative yet again, and they've been caught now. You and I both know, and now you know what to do with it. A few years later, here's a sort of follow-up story. Not really, because they never do a follow-up story, because there's nothing to follow up on, because they found nothing. They merely make a claim, and they put it out there so the schools will pick up on it, so that many people will pick up on it, and it will support the notion that Ethiopia is, in fact, the right Sheba, which it cannot be. It's in the wrong continent to start with, nowhere near accurate. Did they go back and actually open the entrance to the cave? Oh, well, they should, right? I mean, wouldn't that be the next logical step? No, still haven't done that. So we still don't even know if it was a gold mine at all. Not that it would matter, because they can't date gold and they can't date rock. Therefore, they would never know what age that was operated in, even if it was a gold mine. Well, when it comes down to it, do they follow up on the initial site at all? No. This is a new story, but we'll share this too, because it also gets to the same assertion. In fact, we can't find one such story in the Guardian at all. They make the claim, and then it disappears. Now, this is the trick of the occult oftentimes. It's witchcraft, really. And it's nonsense, and we've caught them here. Just because someone with an advanced degree tells a lie doesn't make it a truth. It makes it an even bigger lie. This article discusses a gem found in an Ethiopian dig in the time of Rome. Is Rome the time of the Queen of Sheba? No. It's almost 1,000 years later. So does it have anything to do with the Queen of Sheba? No, but they'll inject it anyway. Did the Queen of Sheba live in the Roman period? No. Does it have any pertinence to finding the biblical Queen of Sheba? No. This is a different find, different city, demonstrating that there was a kingdom of Axum. And there was 2,000 years ago, but not 3,000 years ago. And Ethiopians can be proud of that history. And more so, proud that the lost tribes of Israel literally migrate, some of them, into Ethiopia from the southern kingdom, according to Scripture. Now, we prove that in our Lost Tribes series. So Ethiopia has a lot to be proud of. However, the Queen of Sheba is not theirs to claim. And just as they are rightfully outraged when one steals their history, they need to be mindful of the same with this narrative, as the Queen of Sheba did not originate in Ethiopia from Ham, period. It never fits this narrative, which belongs to Shem and the other Sheba, brother of Ophir. It cannot fit. It fails every test, even. In the middle of this article, which has nothing to do with the previous find, they then go and try to link the Queen of Sheba yet again, as if it has any place, or they ever proved anything in the first article in find, which is no find at all when it comes to the Queen of Sheba. This is deception, not archaeology. They're spinning propaganda here. It is a narrative. It is not history at all. There is nothing here, nor should there be, as they are looking in the wrong continent, which we have already proven overwhelmingly. And by the way, all the challengers who have come in over the last 3 years or so, watching Solomon's Gold series, trying to prove it wrong, and not one can prove it wrong. We can unravel this claim in minutes. Britain should get out of the archaeology business, frankly, because they're just deceiving and mixing things up, purposely, obviously. Going around the world and renaming well-known mountains such as Gunung Lidang as Mount Ophir fraudulently in 1801. Sagarmatha, Nepal, the tallest mountain on earth, they rename as Mount Everest, fraudulently and ridiculously. Thousands of years it had that name, and now we're supposed to call it Everest because, well, it should be named after a British dude. Why? Why? The local Nepalese probably already climbed Mount Everest many times before the British ever came. So who exactly do they think they are, that they have the right to rename ancient sites like this, or even nations for that matter? This is leftover colonialism that should have been rejected all along. It's evil. They operate just like the chief demon whom they serve as a nation, knowingly or not. Enough of this Nephilim doctrine and behavior. Let's obliterate this completely now. According to the British Museum, where Schofield used to serve as curator even, these are the Ethiopian items found in archaeology in history by the British. And this really tells all. These range from 200 AD to 800 AD. Oh, wait a minute. When did the Queen of Sheba live? 1000 BC almost. Almost 1,200 years before that. Would not some of this need to lead to the Queen of Sheba? To tie somehow to try to make a claim? To even invoke her name into the narrative at all? Well, yeah, if they were honest. But let's be clear, this is a lie. Here are the items found to the right. And we'll show you more in the next screens. We're going to flip through this pretty quickly. Beginning 275 AD and forward. Not one item, even before BC even. Whether alone 1000 BC, what a joke to link this with the Queen of Sheba. Nonsense. Now we're going to fly through these next screens, but you can pause, read each item if you wish, that's fine. These are all the British documents that they're handing out to students on their tours to the British Museum to show them what was found in Ethiopia. All slides in this video and all of our videos pretty much are sourced, so you can research all of them in our teachings. Ethiopia has a rich history indeed, and it should be proud of its history, but it shouldn't be taking the history from another land. They would not like that if it were happening to them. And it does originate all the way back to the days of Cush, there's no doubt, the grandson of Noah and the son of Ham. What it does not have is one shred of support for it being the biblical land of the Queen of Sheba from Shem, as it's on the wrong continent to start with. Even coins, but again, none from an era even close to that of the Queen of Sheba. Nothing at all. Here are the sources for these items, and these are basically the British Museum recorded findings in Ethiopia. There's absolutely nothing here to even begin a discussion on the Queen of Sheba and her land. Nothing at all. Archaeology, from over 1,000 years, too late to be considered part of the Queen of Sheba narrative. And they go there anyway based on the occult Kibra Nagas. That's really the root here, in which that queen, in their words, was a goat lady. Ludicrous, unbiblical, no way. And Britain of God, grow up and get some real archaeological interpretation. See, if you can actually read the Bible before taking on a biblical narrative, that might be a nice thing to start with there, scholars. Then maybe, perhaps you might find something for a change. Unfortunately, when we test biblical geography, we find scholars way, way off, because they go away from the narrative and they don't stick to the Bible. They don't go back and test it against the Bible. Britain never found anything on the topic of Ophir, Sheba, Tarshish, nor Havilah, anywhere, ever, nothing. All of their narratives are frauds with zero connection to the biblical accounts. It's really bad. You would only be able to do this poor of a job in archaeology on purpose. And we believe that is the fact, because they are from Gog, the prince demon. They're just going around the world trying to send up confusion, and we know the author of that, and we know who their principality of rule is. There is no coherent claim of Ethiopia, nor Yemen being the lands where the Queen of Sheba originated, as, again, she descended from Sheba, brother of Ophir, not the Sheba from Ham from Cush, which is the wrong Sheba, the one with goat legs, unfortunately. We get it. Any nation would love to be able to claim the wealthiest woman of all time, indeed. But only one can, and that belongs to the Philippines. And no one can disprove it. We dare them to try. As we keep saying and supporting over and over again, there is no debating the Philippines is the land of gold in all of history. It is time this knowledge be restored. For those about to comment in ignorance, yep, we always get them. We dare you to watch Solomon's Gold series by The God Culture, the original channel, to prove the Philippines is in fact Ophir. Even here, we are breaking these into sound bites and clear points, but watch how all 100 clues tie together in this series will blow you away. Thank you for watching 100 Clues. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the bell and like us on our new Facebook, The God Culture Space Original. If you wish to skip ahead, go to the God Culture YouTube channel and watch our Solomon's Gold series in English and now available in Tagalog. There will be a link on the next screen. We can know this truth and be confident this belongs to the Philippines and no one can disprove it. Until next time.